Hello and welcome to Security Scan. I am Vishal Dahiya, and this week we will talk about Naval Utility Helicopters. The first big Make in India project of the second term of the NDA government in defence sector had started taking shape. Earlier this week, technical bids were opened for manufacturing 111 light utility multirole helicopters for the Indian Navy, which will cost approximately 21,000 crore rupees. These utility copters will replace Chetak Helicopters in the Indian Navy and will operate from its frontline warships for attack missions and rescue and surveillance operations. According to reports, 3 foreign manufacturers have submitted bids for this project, while European firm Airbus has offered 2 platforms, H-145M and AS-565 Panther. Sikorsky from USA has offered S-76T and Russian Kamov has offered Ka-226T. Hindustan Aeronautics Limited is also said to be pushing separately for the naval version of its advanced light helicopter. The technical bids will be checked for compliance, and choppers on offer will go through extensive field trials in the next few months before a final decision is taken on this deal. For more on this, we're joined by a distinguished panel of the guests today. Let me start by introducing them to you, beginning with retired Lieutenant General V.K. Saxena, a distinguished fellow from the VIF. We also have with us retired Vice Admiral Satish Soni as a defense expert, and we have Ajay Banerjee, the defense correspondent of the Tribune as well. Welcome all of you gentlemen to Rajya Sabha TV studios, and let me begin with you, Admiral Soni, first to try and put the things in perspective for our viewers, because when we talk about Indian Navy and when we talk about multi-role helicopters and specifically naval utility helicopters, these 2 categories, what are we looking at when we talk about NUH and that specific number 111 to be acquired for Indian Navy?
You see, in naval warfare, integral air has become extremely important. Integral air essentially means the naval fleets and the naval ships who have the capability of launching aircraft. It could be an air defense aircraft, which would mean from an aircraft carrier, or it could mean a heavy helicopter, multi-role helicopter capable of carrying out ASW missions, attack on ships, etc. Or it could mean a smaller helicopter, which we call the Naval Utility Helicopter. So the Naval Utility Helicopters are essentially embarked on board most of our ships, which are frigates and above, and they are used for say anti-piracy missions, which means that they would have a gun fitted on board the aircraft, and they would be able to apprehend or prosecute ship pirates at sea.
Okay.
Or they would be used for communication duties. That means carrying out personnel from one ship to the other. Or they would be used for search and rescue or casualty evacuation. So essentially, or just carrying out surveillance at sea. So naval utility helicopter means a helicopter of an all-up weight of about 2 to 4 or 4.5 tons, which is capable of doing all these duties at sea.
Okay, General Saxena, that number, that's 111, is a significant number and a large number as well. So where does it fit specifically when we are looking at Naval Air Arm, as Admiral Soni was describing?
Yeah, I will say Admiral Soni put the things in perspective. If you look at the Naval Air Arm, you look at the 2 verticals, the fixed wing and the rotary wing. As the Admiral said, that the fixed wing aircraft which we have got, MiG-29K for example, is a carrier-based multi-utility and multi-role aircraft. Thereafter, if you have P-81 aircraft, this is a long-range maritime reconnaissance aircraft. IL-38 is a maritime patrol aircraft. We also have the version of HAL Tejas, which is now doing the trials for operation from aircraft carrier. The shore-based test facility has come up in Goa, and lately we heard in May 2019, Admiral Arun Prakash took a sortie on this aircraft. That is one vertical of the fixed wing aircraft. If you talk about the rotary wing aircraft, we have two different categories and classes as Admiral was bringing out. One is anti-submarine role and one is utility role. Anti-submarine role, you had a discussion here last time, if you remember.
The MH-60.
The MH-60 came just not that. Our problem, our actually holding was seeking helicopters of 42 and 42A and 42B. They started to induct in 1971, and their numbers became so precariously low that there was an urgent requirement to get in a anti-submarine helicopter, and then 24 of these helicopters of this variety, anti-submarine, came in from BAE system, and we're talking about 2.4 billion deal. In this, if you progress further with the utility role, we have the old horse, which is Chetak aircraft, Chetak helicopter. Chetak helicopter is now old and very, very vintage. Then we also have the Dhruv helicopter of the HAL. And based on this, we also have some Kamov 25, 28 and 31. The role of utility helicopter as Admiral was bringing out is far and wide: search and rescue, casualty evacuation, vertical replenishment, moving personnel, moving VIP, carrying out low intensity maritime operations. There are large number of roles, and there are large number of ships which require this helicopter. Therefore, the naval the requirement of 111 helicopters which has been taken out is the net deficiency, net requirement, urgent requirement at this moment. This also is a huge number, and is a big boost to our defense manufacturing sector in the strategic partnership mode. Because out of this 111 helicopters, only 16 have to be brought in a flyaway condition. Rest 85 have to be built in India. Out of these, 3 majors have to set a global class facility in India.
In India, and that will be under the Make in India program. And that's where I want to bring you, Ajay. You know, this is going to be the first big Make in India project in the defense sector for the second term of the NDA government, and the first big defense deal as well. So if you look at it in that aspect, that push to Make in India in the defense sector and the first deal in the new SP policy as well. So how significant would that be? Because this would test, these both things on that level.
Yeah, crucially, because this is a test of this strategic partnership model, which is called the SP model. That means a foreign company can come to India, have a tie-up in India, and build that program or some component in India at the Indian manufacturer's base. Now, this will mean that it will need an ecosystem within India. An ecosystem means suppliers who are in India. They are not foreign, they are in India. That means the local boys or local companies learn how to make metallurgical parts, how to do complex avionics. Of course, it will be integrated from various companies. So, in other words, the Indian manufacturer will be kind of integrator of company equipment supplied from everywhere else. This will have a wide impact on local SME and MSME sector, which are at the moment just fledging in India, which is just growing, which will grow faster after this. Crucially, I want to add, Vishal, these NUH have a very critical role for, just to explain to your viewers. For example, there is something needed on a warship and that thing is 300 kilometers away. The ship to sail and come back will take around 1 day. A helicopter will go and come back in 90 minutes. So if, for example, something...
Substantial amount of time can be saved.
Something has to be picked up from shore. The helicopter will come back 300 kilometers in probably 90 minutes and be back. The ship to go and cover that distance of 300 kilometers and back will take around a day. So that is the difference it will make.
That's a significant aspect as well. But Admiral Soni, on the new SP policy, since this will be the first big major project, how do you see this moving ahead? It's a huge project, 111 helicopters, out of which only 16, as General Saxena was pointing out, will be brought in the ready to fly condition, but rest will be manufactured here only.
No, it is a very significant amount, the number of helicopters and the amount of money, 21,000 crores. And the ecosystems that would be created would benefit the aviation industry, not only the military industrial complex, but also the aviation military industry in the country. So I think from that point of view, our government should hasten this project. Go over these bureaucratic red tape procedures and finalize and order. In any case, the Navy has been facing acute shortage of naval utility helicopters. Our fleets are, are growing. The number of warships are there, but their hangars are there, but there are no helicopters. So I think we must try and expedite. We must try and push these sanctions through. because not only will it help the Navy, but it will help the nation.
Okay, and then you brought up the ecosystem aspect to that. I'd like to bring in Ajay Saxena here. Ajay Saxena, we have been having a discussion on this show quite a number of times whenever we talk about new weapon platforms, for either of the forces, be it Indian Army, Air Force, or Indian Navy, that private players needs to have that be given that fillip, and that ecosystem needs to be created. So this new SP policy and this entire project specifically, this large scale, will effectively have that desired impact?
Sir, I am reminded of Dhirendra Singh Committee of July 15, which laid down the foundation of strategic partnership model. And thereafter it was included in the DPP 2016, and finally it was issued as a policy in 2017 August, 31st August. The policy was issued strategic partnership model. What does it actually mean? It simply means to revitalize the defense industrial infrastructure, defense industrial ecosystem. How to revitalize? This revitalization has to take place by progressively building indigenous capabilities in terms of design, development, integration and manufacture, as also set up manufacturing facilities of world-class capability in India, which not only should become exclusive capability for export worldwide for the product in India, but for the whole world. Now this is 21,738 crore, which is the cost of this project. Now imagine this capability coming, and the niche technologies which is likely to bring into India will be something unprecedented.
Okay.
But the problem doesn't stop there. The problem is something else. The problem is that these four categories of strategic partnership model, which is the fighter aircraft, helicopters, submarines and armored fighting vehicles, the private players, HAL has now come up with two bids. One bid is on its own, and other is in combination with KA-226T Russian helicopter. Some of the foreign vendors have raised an objection that this capability of strategic partnership model is to build capability in the private sector over and above what is available in the public sector. Public sector company HAL has already got a huge helicopter making infrastructure they are making through, and also a new facility is coming up in Tumakaru next to Bangalore. So that is a set aside part which they will look after. But the basic fact is that this strategic partnership model is going to be a huge success and is going to bring in such capability into defense sector. For example, who's coming? Mahindra. Not only these three foreign vendors, let us not forget that there are 8 Indian vendors. All the top guns. You talk of Tatas, Adanis, Mahindra Defense, Larsen & Toubro initially showed interest but did not come through.
Bharat Forge as well.
Bharat Forge, everybody is on board. Now what happens? In 2 months' time, when Navy put its act together of examining the Indian strategic partners or the foreign OEMs and put out their RFP by the end of this year, it is the Indian vendor. If you remember MH-60R, it is the Indian vendor which won a global tender on its own merit. Something like this will happen now with this company as well. It's a huge success.
It is indeed going to have that desired impact. And you mentioned the HAL. Let me bring in Ajay here on that. Ajay, as all of us know, according to reports, and as Jan Saxena was also pointing out, HAL is pushing for its own naval version of its advanced light helicopter, the ALH as well. So how do things figure out here?
See, I'm a great fan of HAL. I must say that I bat for public sector. I'm very, very clear about it. That is also made in India. But I will over here say that very bluntly, that HAL has made a Dhruv. It is flying very well for the army. It's doing very good duty in the Himalayas. However, the HAL's naval version helicopter, to be put it very bluntly, the blades don't fold. To explain, Vishal, the blades have to fold in a single fashion so that the helicopter goes into its hangar on a warship. There is not enough space on a warship. So the blades don't fold. I will be very brutal with HAL on that. They don't fold totally.
And then what about the other 3 players? Because there are 3 bidders.
The
and one of them has offered 2 platforms.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that the blades fold. That is the most important aspect of a naval warship, because till the blades fold, the helicopter cannot go into the hangar. It will take a lot of space. HAL is doing a great job, but however in the naval version, their blades don't fold. I will still add one more sentence. If they are doing with the Kamov 226T, Kamov already has a tie-up with HAL to make 200 helicopters. That is a different opinion, because Kamov, we already fly the Kamov anti-submarine warfare helicopters. Navy already uses them. If they're doing a Kamov NUH then that's a different story. Kamov has those blade folding capabilities. HCL on its own, the Dhruv does not have blade folding capabilities.
Okay. Admiral Soni, from the end user's perspective, because ultimately this platform is going to be utilized by the Indian Navy. So from that end user's perspective, you have now 3 international bidders. One is a European company, Airbus, then another is American, Skorsky, and a Russian as well. And you have HAL, which, ALH, as Ajay pointed out, the blades don't fold. But from an end user's perspective, what is it? In which of the platforms specifically, if you look at it that way, in their capabilities and the requirements of the Indian Navy, which one does fits well? Or if I may put it the other way around, what are the requirements?
You see, so far the naval utility helicopter that we have been operating, or the naval ships have been operating, are the Chetaks. They are an extension of or the Indianized version of the Alvit helicopter of the French manufacturer. And that's a small helicopter. It all up weight of about 2 tons. Now the Indian Navy has got bigger ships, bigger frigates, bigger destroyers, and the naval capability of the naval helicopters in the markets have also been fairly enhanced. So we are looking at now about 4.5 ton helicopter. Now the specifications which the Navy has already drawn up is in consultation with the various manufacturers, so that we can have more bids. Now after those specifications are discussed, then there will be trials, and then we will select based on the best costs. We will select the manufacturers. This is a process, and the process has been followed for all the acquisitions we have been having, and this process will be duly followed up.
Okay.
And insofar as the Navy is concerned, I suppose we would be looking at the helicopter which performs the best during trials and meets all the specifications.
Okay, which meets all the requirements. But General Saxena, from the technical capabilities point of view, how would you look at all these players who are in the fray here?
Actually, the Admiral already gave a broad view. There are 5 machines, as we all know. The first Airbus has given 2 H145 and 2 H76T. Both these are 4-ton machines. And whereas if you look at the Skorsky, it's a 5-ton machine. Kamov is a shorter 3.6-ton machine. If you look at all the helicopter, all of them are twin engine at the moment. If you look at various functions, if you look at the passenger carrying capability, it is a Skorsky which has got 13 passengers. Otherwise, the passengers are 8 to 10. Kamov has got only 7. Look at the speed wise. Panther is the highest speed, 380 km per hour. Rest are between 250, 280, like that. If you look at the payload, again the 5-ton Skorsky is a heavier machine, therefore its payload is 2130 kg. Rest of them are in the region of 1980, 1950 or 1500 kg and thereafter. But the crux of the issue is that all of them meet the basic services qualitative requirement which have been laid down by the Indian Navy, and the final test of the pudding will be the one which performs the best in the field evaluation trial, because the procedure is what? After the RFP is issued, the technical commercial bid, the technical and the commercial 2-bid system will be received. The technical bid will be opened and it will be put through the technical evaluation committee. After that, the technically qualified vendors will be put through the field evaluation trials. The trials will take place. After the trial reports will be again put to GS evaluation to say whether all the trial parameters have been checked out, everything, and who are the vendors who finally come out. Thereafter will be, as the Admiral was saying, it will be followed by the contract negotiation committee, then price negotiation committee, and thereafter the biggest thing will come up of the strategic partnership model of the Indian vendor giving the indigenization roadmap. How will he indigenize? How will this partner will make those 85 of these helicopters in what time frame? What is the facility for integration, assembly, manufacture, audit? Everything will roll. Because strategic partnership model is different from the buy and make procedure. It is to bring in the niche technology. It is to revitalize the industrial defense, industrial ecosystem, which is which is the main plank of this whole thing.
Okay. Ajay, a technical bid's been opened is a significant landmark in any particular deal. But if you look at the timelines of several defense deals, and this is something which we have discussed earlier as well. So how would you place this particular deal for the 111 NUH on the timeline scale vis-a-vis the other deals which we have entered in the past, and there have been, time lags there? And quite huge ones?
Vishal, your viewers should not take it as a political comment. This NUH should have been done 2 decades ago. In one sentence. It should have been done 2 decades ago. The Chetak started 1960 design. And we are, in the past 20 years, have increased our naval warships to newer modular class constructions. They are state of the art and they need best helicopters. Chetaks flying on them looks very odd, and the technical parameters of Chetaks, they have their own limitations to flying at sea, flying at night. The technology is 1960, imagine. We are living in 2020 now. 6 months down the line, it will be 2020. So you are flying a helicopter which is designed 60 years ago for some other need, some other wars, some other requirements. Today, you are a different requirement. You are a growing navy. You are aspiring to have a space on the global high table. You are among the top 5 navies of the world. You aspire to have a greater role in Asia-Pacific or Indo-Pacific, as the US calls it, and also be the net security provides the Indian Ocean region. So the smaller nations who are looking up to you also know that Chetak is 1960 technology. You rather show them some new technology to be taken seriously. That is my point.
Okay. Admiral Soni, your aspect on that?
Oh, well, I would say that, we are already overdue. We are short on numbers, and the government must process this deal. And as we have seen in the past, some of these acquisition projects, especially with the heavy outlays, get derailed on account of false acquisitions. Most of them are false acquisitions. So I think as a nation, we must come together and progress this. It is important for the Navy, it is important for the country, but most importantly, it is important for our military industrial complex to grow, as these strategic partnerships should prove successful.
Okay. General Saxena, better late than never, as both the gentlemen are pointing out.
I personally feel that this is a project which should have happened day before yesterday, actually, because as the Admiral bringing out that we are starkly short of naval utility helicopters. How did we buy at what stage we buy the anti-submarine helicopter? And what was the stage of S-42, 42A? It was only dwindling down when 24 of this MH-60R came about. And similar is the case, we are flying Chetak Dhruv, the Chetak helicopter, which is of no match. The Dhruv, the 200 on order, have nowhere to meet the total requirement of so many ships with the hangars with no helicopter. This 111 deal which has come through has been actually green signaled on 25th August 2018, last year. Okay. It's only in February 19 we have been able to issue the EOI, and as it is nearly a year is passing after the DAC deal. Now we should put our act together and basically take this deal to strengthen and revitalize the defense industrial ecosystem, because the private sector is looking ahead for empowerment, for enablement, and for production capabilities of niche technologies.
Okay, so clearly there it is, as pointed out by our panelists, clearly that this is a deal which should have been done day before yesterday. That is, we're almost a bit late on that, but as our panelists are pointing out, better late than never, and the ball has been set rolling for the acquisition and Make in India manufacture of 111 naval utility helicopters for Indian Navy. We'll keep you updated on the developments on this deal as well as other aspects of the defense sector. Keep watching Rajya Sabha Television.